OKFM 101.7.
Okay, hey, former MP for Kumbungu. Honorable Machi.
Many are major so.
Hey, if you what in that.
Let us say.
Never called ye.
Yamadam Yahoya, beginning of Bosomoya.
Boko, na Kejetia market, I say. Na, we say, oh, assembly cow home. And say,
Kwame made us say, the decline, my member, you know, or more Kejetia, or more shere, or more jetty, member, or more shedding. Because her and said we are no idea. Say, Obishin in your massa, you can only imagine our whole and I am Shishia on your crow a kumo. Na media Masama American say, as on minor. Ye di sa edwadifo no ene ona before Kejetia omo edwate de ehye no omo nyina ye di omo hwamo because come adena year in year out there be a fire outbreak in this market, fire outbreak in that market, fire outbreak in this place. Na yemfa enhyehyeye ekwan ento ho to prevent these things from reoccurring. Me may raise the issue on the floor of Parliament, and my recommendation was that public buildings be a dime, be a buying a dime, say a hospital, say a school, say a gym, say a ministry, say a agency. Yemfa fireproof cladding, just a ceiling na and Abrafono aye. Nyoma bia utimi ceiling utimi de bibi ehye ho se de beya eja tokra entimi enhye. So my recommendation was that yemfa sade no enhye ho. Na afi so yemfa sprinklers, because say a dwomo, say a school, say a hospital, say a ministry, yemfa sprinklers and enhye ho. Na yempe fire hydrants in every public place. Now, so young fancy share ya de asotwe what can I say asotwe.
Are honorable when anyone know?
An American. Because on the new one, none can new coin say isi. And that is why I'm making the point say ye do more. You know, or more year. Because as on minor, you say age, now, fakwanya, you better prevent it. Because it's all about prevention. The solution should be about how can we make sure, say, I do a NCDM. And these are some of the measures. Fire exit. And now, who say I'm out for a day, and Toma, and Homa. Actually, from there, it was so sad, you know. And I can bet my last person said, God forbid, say I'm making a conscious effort at reforming all public buildings. One or more be or more need enough is from time to time, because the sprinklers will cry. But this is how they do it. From time to time, no one's on my fire exercise. Now more be sprinklers no ebia once a year now once every 2 years to make sure say ebia say at the systems are working. That is how these Europeans and Americans and Arabs operate. Now me who say yeah before I don't know what is wrong with us, Kwame. We know what is right, yet we wouldn't do what is right. So I feel say there's got to be an inquiry into this. What went wrong? How did it happen? And recommendations, stringent measures and immediate reforms. Immediate reforms in all public buildings. Because you say it's not school diashi, and a hospital, and a gym, and a government ministry, and a department. As we are breaking people's hearts. And then I said, "Oh my, no more thing. Now, take a crowd, a jazz akutum." Ebi kura bit me afa ho kura in hypertension, high blood pressure. Ebi bit me afa ho kura ayemhihie kura na omofrim. And as a people, these are things that we can do. We any rocket science, media. Any rocket science. Kejetia market building. I don't know the design structure in terms of what I said sprinklers woman as a sprinklers in them. What I said fireproof cladding woman as a fireproof cladding in them. If these things were not there, then we have to make sure say every other government building will put in place these measures. And I'm also hoping say buying any government agencies ever help victims adi atọ money no obe help and not just buying individuals obi bia o kakra obetimi dia boa sa victims is you know it also helps, but more importantly as a therapist as also because as a result of this you know because ontimi na ebikra nyama e wona mark in the store kra ebikra oko free obi zu a wako free nyama no ogini sika say we store ashiwa na say we store ashiwa no enfa no sika no oje, you know, and it's a terrible time for this thing to happen, and I'm really praying and hoping that they will get the necessary support, but more importantly fireproof cladding, sprinklers, fire hydrants, fire exits in every government building. Ministries big go ha. Honum cry ministry no. Ukoma, you could tell say the BCA amount for the from Impumumna or Matafon. There are no exits. Evo had just one exit. And I don't see why as a country we are not thinking about these building regulators. What is happening in that sector? I don't know, but these things shouldn't be reoccurring.
I see. My shot, me find say a city like California. A day bia a wo bia no omo di nua e na aye. Na obisa wo mo say e ho ye earthquake prone area. Said ye be ya earthquake sia enye. Apart from say wo mo di nua ye no. Me say niam bi wo a e bia inside no any ceiling ni wo mo di ye nyina e ye fireproof. E gentimi nhye ne sa. Including me call Beverly Hills Hotel. So we free. So free Beverly Hills. So na Sania. California. Who Sania ya na we right in the sa hotel na or Beverly Hills Hotel no. Inside ni na me anam say no the other dem say just man no say most of niema interior ni na fireproof. And na omukro a kire say okay say in case say ejaba aha any exit point. The exit point no kra say ni aye no ho fa wa eja no ntimi nhye niema ye de aye ho sa baye no se bia ye ma obi contractor na wo kasa wo beye sa niema wo mu a e bia contractor kwa wunya obi ko ba kasa do soro
na your friend is saying nipa enkwa obeye the right thing na waji nipa enkwa na wa stop the loss of property. Any shoddy worker obeya. I think almost every other year we hear about a fire outbreak. Almost like 2 years there's a major fire outbreak.
okayfm.
And this shouldn't be just Kumasi or Accra, but all over the country. All over the country. And I remember vividly when I was in Parliament, my friend Minister for Interior to provide some answers on some of these things because fire service are under Ministry of Interior. Chief Fire Officer Eva Hobi. And you read a certain down many or moody come out bonting. Some are no more kind of say some of these things are buying Australia crown, they make recommendations, but recommendations no painful any so. Why must you be a chief executive officer and not a minister? and so pretend over a situation a bit aje nipa enkwa. Why must these things happen? KMA or him. Because your point to it's not just about pushing papers, but it's about doing things thoroughly to make sure that measures are put in place in all aspects. Into what has happened? How did this happen? They see a takrade, you share be and free manner. They see your very say as a for market, you share be and free manner. They see cry, you share be and free manner. So why must this happen? Where are the fire extinguishers? But Kwame, we need to call a spade a spade. Yes, so Ankasa Dipano Yaka. Where fire extinguishers, echo see horses here, Obibe, and they acquire scrap or whatever. That is the reality. Obibe acquire illegal connection. That is the reality. And then it creates problems. And as on my manner. On my year, maybe I'm no income because I said, on my year, so we all have to be responsible citizens. What about the duty of the citizenry? And then once the cables cry on a month for future. You know, idea, buying there, a month for saying, you know, so until we all become citizens and not spectators, and until public institutions are open for show leadership in preventing some of these things, we would come back next year or 2 years from now and talk about these things again. And I'm just like, I'm so sad. I mean, and imagine Obi a washing the great training. Obi that is all they have.
Okay,
They don't have
then.
any other source of livelihood. And
This
is the time the church would also have to come in and provide support. Say emotionally, provide support. This is the time the mosque would have to open their doors. This is the time individual citizens would have to open their doors, and families would have to reach out and console one another, because it's not a normal thing to happen. So as I've said, there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm believing, say, after an inquiry, I don't know what level of form it will take, but I think there's got to be an inquiry. New Kejetia markets, what went wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Fire claddings, not a woman as in them. Fire hydrant, not a woman as in you. Your friends sprinklers, not a woman as in.
But yet it says smoke detectors, no, none of batteries, no.
So you can, and that is what I was telling you earlier on. Say, from time to time, you see, they are not any special than us, because there are black people who are excelling in Europe and America. And I can tell you that many of our public officers, at one point or another, have had to either go abroad for one training or the other. So why can't we do the right thing? Why can we not do the right thing for our own people? How difficult is it for whoever is managing the market to say, every year, and I say every quarter, and I say every 6 months, we will do event checks? Because yes, equipment can default. If they can default at any time. So that is why you do exercises, drills, to make sure, say, in the event of an outbreak, your systems are working. Elsewhere, I can tell you, say, heads would have ruled. Elsewhere, I can tell you, say, the managers. You remember Grenfell fire in the UK? And then I think, was it 2013 or 14 or thereabout.
Mm-hmm.
Elsewhere, heads would roll. Elsewhere, people would be punished.
na no ade kura Turkey na see earthquake see
yes earthquake
say yes see achichi nipa before that structural defects no
exactly you know we have to love our country and love its people, but more often than not, you know, people are cutting corners would be a quick profit, would be a there's this get rich quick mentality engulfing not just Ghanaians but all over Africa, except for the north of Africa. You know, and the contracts more be obey the BB. Among for ye ejuma or baby once ejuma the any of personal business no. They don't really care. How did these equipments not work? Fire detectors now, I didn't think ejuma. It's because from the time they were installed, checks bia. So obviously they would. I mean, the Kejetia market, Kejetia market. You know, from at least 8, 9 years or 10 years ago, the new Kejetia market, so since then, how many fire events, drills? How often have the systems been tested? No, everybody gets a job and they go to sleep. All they care about is the salary and the allowances and the pay. And that is why our country is where it is. Maybe I will agree. Her videos are about out. And even the response. You know?
I know. Na Kumbungu, wamu hiwa nimo so ko.
Namia adoma aka 57 days to elections. So far, so very, very good. I've spent 2 months in the constituency visiting delegates one-on-one. Meshia delegates, more than 500 delegates in their homes, to the house to house. Mako ubia field instead of meeting them in groups to sell my message to them. And clearly, Nyamia Yadoma, we would win the parliamentary primary. Kumbungu a very safe seat for the NDC. You know, in the any primary. There are a lot of people who have expressed regret in some of the communities. Communities for no air culture delegates are more on say or more mistake normal go to mamia more mumbefi. In many of the communities, the delegates are getting threatened by the people because you call my shepherd. You know, and we represented them appropriately in Parliament. And the ministers, I don't remember the last time you heard anything positive about Kumbungu on the floor of Parliament. You know, they really miss me, you know, and I'm praying that I'll get an opportunity to serve them again, to represent them, and to help fight not just for their interest, but for the interest of every other Ghanaian. It's for more enjoy. Yes, so be as a more vampire entirety. That is almost omitting a support here in any way. Since you go out of the Ras Mubarak or the other delegates, more about that Beverly Hills Hotel.
What's he saying?
No, say more about that Beverly Hills Hotels. He said, "A group that was Ras with the general organizing a jollof rice be my delegate."
I have a friend that Wilson Woodrow Street, our Beverly Hills.
And I catch you with me and I said, you need people like Ras Mubarak in Parliament.
Yes.
Who have the country, you know, and
because I wouldn't buy no. I wouldn't buy every place you want. So I'm penning one some more. So Brofun want you. And now any problem with issues I can parliament. Obia antin nka what they say?
I get this very often. You know, sometimes there are even members of parliament who ask me, say, but Okra, how they replace you? You know, and she doesn't empower me. I've said, sir, on a very serious note, so Okra baby, Yemai is the more reason why we need to elect experienced people who are competent, but importantly, people who are also passionate about the country. Because Oboha, he's competent, all right, but he doesn't care about the country. Oboha, he's experienced, all right, but he doesn't care about the country. And over economic challenges that if he's here, or elect any obscure backbencher to be in parliament, the country will suffer. Who could be Abia Takra to support a candidate who can best represent all of us? The country will suffer, you know. And 4 years is a lifetime. 4 years, you know, from 2020 to Enne, you know, Abapa. And I'm hoping, say, in every constituency in the country, whether say NDC stronghold and as a MPP stronghold, no, delegates are war. Ombedwene omino ho first. Na omoko to abana. Omato aba ama omodo omino. Omo any experience ombetimi aboa. Because whichever government is in power, and I pray, it's my prayer, I said the NDC will clearly take over, you know, after the very abysmal performance of the MPP. The NDC from 2025 would need experienced parliamentarians to help the party push, you know, the transformational agenda forward. Okofa MPs are only experience, only the passion and the competencies are. It reflects on governance generally, and then I'm sure you heard every now and then say people are missing the first and second and third parliaments because in those parliaments the quality of debate in those parliaments, no say JH also champion agent at the Naswa, and as a JH Mensa agent at the Naswa, you know, say people of substance, irrespective of their politics.
Yes.
And then, you know, it's anti-sa. And it's because, by and large, the quality of representation has been diluted. And I think that the time has come for us to look at the economic challenges, for the difficulties we are in today, and elect in every constituency representatives who can get the job done. It's all that matters.
Okay.
Any other thing short of that would make the work of the next NDC government very difficult. Because on need the competencies and experience. You can imagine how difficult it will be.
Okay. Medasi anopay.
Medasi. Nyamishawa.
Bye-bye. Honorable Ras Mubarak, former MP for Kumbungu, and I know educate and common okay 101.7 so in
okayfm 101.7